Ask your candidates where they stand on these important issues to rebuild a fair America for everyone. Medicare for all health care. Ending the wars and not starting a new one. Investing in renewable energy. Investing in our transportation and infrastructure, our schools, roads, highways, energy grid. Protecting workers' rights to have a safe work environment where they can organize for their rights and fair wages. And fighting for a secure living wage so we could remove the phrase, the working poor, from our vernacular for good. Protecting women's rights to equal pay and access to health care and their own decisions. Tax corporations fairly, the same as workers. All income being taxed the same, whether it's through investment or through labor. Ending corporate welfare and subsidies to big oil. Cut defense spending dramatically and to take that investment and put it where it really matters, in investing in our own communities, rebuilding our cities, our rural areas, and rebuilding America. Defend consumers from Wall Street and big banks. We need to restore Glass-Steagall. We need to take the gamblers out of Wall Street and get Wall Street out of our people's houses, out of our government. Invest in teachers and public schools and innovation. We need to rehire all of those teachers that have been fired. It makes no sense to try and balance the budget on the backs of our future generations and our current children. Invest in teachers and invest in America. Create fair and smart immigration policies that are humane and make sense for everybody. Pass the DREAM Act and overturning Citizens United. We need to get big business and Wall Street out of our government so we can get the people back into it and have our voices be heard. So please ask them where they stand on these issues. You can find them on our website listed. We must require fairness and common decency for all Americans, especially those who are working the hardest and already sacrificing the most to keep America going. So let's all speak with one united voice so they hear us. Put our small differences aside and work together. America's rich are not the job creators. We all know that. But they have created the biggest job craters. Big giant holes in the middle class, with millions of good American jobs destroyed during the 10 years of the Bush tax cuts to the rich. Most Americans have been struggling to get by with just enough or not enough, while the very small section of America, the very rich few, live by the credo that there's never enough to keep them happy. Tax breaks for the rich and the very rich should not break the middle class. The middle class did not break our economy, and fixing our economy should not break the middle class. Give their tax breaks instead to the people who do create jobs, like the entrepreneurs who start brand new businesses and hire their friends and neighbors. We do have a spending problem. We have been spending too much money on $2 trillion in paid-for wars and trillion-dollar tax cuts to the rich. We have been spending too little on our roads, energy independence, science, and education. And we have not been spending enough time participating as individual citizens in our political process to make our voices heard. Immediately after raising the debt ceiling, as we're going to need to do again, we must proceed to raising the fairness ceiling by giving every American equal and fair access to opportunity. Americans' wages have not been rising, but the inequality and disparity between the working middle class and the richest few is greater now than it's been since before the Great Depression. We must return to fairness to our taxation system and let the Bush tax cuts to the richest few expire. before the middle class does. We now have 10 years of evidence of what big spending tax giveaways to the richest few do to the hard-working many in our country. That's not a pretty picture. America is spending too much, but we are spending too much on the very rich and on corporations who make billions of dollars every month and pay no taxes and even get tax rebates and subsidies. Enough! Fair is fair, and this is not fair, and everybody knows it. Stand up for your families, your communities, and your children's future. We don't want to punish the rich. We want to reward the real job creators. That's people that go to work every day in their blue-collar jobs and spend money in local stores. That's people who come up with ideas and start new businesses and open up a store on Main Street. That's people that go to school and open a new business with their friends who they graduate with and come up with a great idea. We want to reward the hard-working parents and grandparents who sacrificed enough and had their trust broken by a few greedy companies and people. Every politician should know that when you stand up for the American workers and families, for what's fair and what's just, we will all stand with you at the polls and in our communities. But when you stand on the side of only the people who fund your campaigns, and you tell us not to run for office unless we have millions of dollars, and you won't stand on our side if we do run for office unless we can help you with your campaign and we have millions of dollars and we're a shoo-in to win, then what you're saying is that democracy has been sold to the highest bidder. And when you tell us that you're too busy to help us because you're out traveling the country fundraising, then what you're telling us is that you forgot what your job is. And your job is to be here in our communities listening to us and helping us. Helping us with our problems with the banks, with getting jobs, with affordable health care and education, dealing with health care and banking monopolies that are out of control, not spending all of your time dialing for dollars and begging for money. That's not the job. And if you people out there in Washington are not prepared to do your job and to turn down the big money that's influencing and corrupting our system, then we need to run and get our friends to run to replace you and to enact public financing and get big business out of our electoral system so our communities can be heard instead of the large corporations and special interests that flood our halls of government with money to buy special favors. So that's what Liberals Creating Progress is about, finding people who will stand for and listen to the community that they live and work in, to run for office, and then being able to support them. Support them with our time, with our money, with our donations, and get the word out using social media, using mobile applications, using all the technology we have, so that we can have candidates who get into office, who do something about climate change that threatens our entire planet, instead of just giving it lip service, that do something about the banking monopolies that prey on poor families with shady loan deals, that value everybody in our community, whether they're gay, straight, black, white, Asian, Latino, the same, because equality means equal for everybody. Equal access to opportunity, fairness. And if our elected representatives can't do this or won't do it, then we have to replace them, and we have to work together to pool our money and put people in office who will. So thank you for coming to Liberals Creating Progress. Let's work together. Find the good people that are out there running for office for us and get them into Washington, get them into our state senates, into the governor's mansions, and give the people a voice again, and get big business back to just doing business and out of the business of governing our country. Thank you.